Rewritten and expanded as Dr. Charlotte Serrat Sr.'s, you've been taking magnesium glycinate with hope, with trust, and with the quiet belief that something so simple, one capsule at night, could finally give you the deep, uninterrupted sleep your body has been begging for. And honestly, I don't blame you. Magnesium glycinate has been called the calming mineral, the sleep mineral, even nature's relaxer. But as a physician who has spent decades studying how minerals behave inside the aging body, I need to tell you something that almost no one is willing to say out loud. 99% of people taking magnesium glycinate are doing it incorrectly. And the consequences? They're far more serious than most seniors ever realize. You see, magnesium glycinate isn't just a supplement. It's not something your body treats casually. It is a biochemical workhorse that fuels over 600 reactions, the ones that keep your heart steady, your nerves calm, your muscles responsive, your brain recovering, and your sleep cycles functioning like the deep, natural rhythms they were designed to be. When magnesium is taken properly, it can feel miraculous. It smooths out anxiety as if someone turned down the volume on all your stress signals. It stops nighttime leg cramps that have tormented you for years. It relaxes tightening blood vessels, lowers inflammation, soothes the heart, improves insulin sensitivity, and guides your brain gently into the restorative sleep phases where healing finally happens. But when taken incorrectly, which is what almost everyone unknowingly does, magnesium glycinate can backfire. And not just a little. I'm talking about seniors waking up at 3 a.m. in a panic, heart pounding, chest tight, thoughts racing, legs twitching, breathing shallow, and feeling like the nervous system has been jolted awake instead of calmed. I have treated patients who assumed they were having anxiety attacks, only to discover that their magnesium supplement never made it into their cells. It stayed trapped in the gut, pulling water, disrupting osmotic balance, skewing electrolytes, and triggering stress pathways meant to protect you, not soothe you. Some people begin taking even higher doses, thinking, maybe 200 milligrams isn't enough. Maybe I need 300, or 400, or 500. But the truth is, taking more only deepens the trap. Because the issue isn't the amount. It's the how, the when, the with what, and the internal environment inside your body. The wrong timing, the wrong foods, the wrong hydration, the wrong combinations, the wrong dose structure, all of these silently sabotage magnesium's ability to do anything helpful. And here's what most doctors won't tell you, not because it's untrue, but because they simply don't have the time to explain the deeper biochemical story happening inside you. When magnesium glycinate enters your digestive tract, it competes. Competes with foods, with drinks, with medications, with minerals, with stress hormones, with your circadian rhythm. Magnesium is gentle, but it's also unbelievably sensitive. A cup of coffee at the wrong time can erase 70% of its absorption. A single meal with the wrong compounds can bind to magnesium like glue and send it straight out of your body unused. A dose that is too large can overwhelm your intestinal transporters so completely that absorption goes from 60% down to 11%. And taking magnesium glycinate while dehydrated? That can trigger microscopic stress reactions inside your gut that damage the lining, worsen inflammation, and prevent absorption entirely. That's why, in this expanded guide, I, Dr. Charlotte Serrat, am going to walk you through the 5 biggest magnesium glycinate mistakes that silently sabotage seniors every single night. These mistakes are not small. They create a ripple effect through your nervous system, your sleep cycles, your hormones, your metabolic health, and even your heart rhythm. And many seniors make all 5 without realizing it. Before I reveal the first mistake, I want to ground you in something essential, something most people never hear. Magnesium doesn't simply work when you swallow it. It needs a very specific environment to cross your intestinal wall. It needs low interference. It needs strategic timing. It needs hydration. It needs separation from competing substances. It needs your circadian rhythm to be in the right phase. And it needs your gut lining to be healthy enough for absorption. If any of those pieces are missing, magnesium doesn't soothe you. It stresses you. Instead of calming your nerves, it can overstimulate them. Instead of relaxing your muscles, it can trigger spasms. Instead of balancing your heart rhythm, it can disrupt electrolytes. Instead of deepening your sleep, it can wake you explosively in the middle of the night with symptoms that feel like danger. So before we go further, let me ask you this, because your answer could reveal exactly which mistake you're making. Have you ever taken magnesium glycinate at night and instead of drifting into peace, you felt wired? Restless? Wide awake? Or woke up suddenly with a pounding pulse? And another question, equally important, do you take your magnesium with food? If so, what kind of food? Your answers matter. They will shape how you interpret each mistake. Because magnesium glycinate is powerful. But only when handled correctly. We are about to reveal the 5 critical mistakes that erase up to 80% of magnesium's benefits. Mistake number 2 alone can block up to 70% of absorption. Mistake number 4 interferes with your heart, your kidneys, and your stress hormones. And mistake number 1, almost no one talks about this, can actually trigger inflammation, damage your gut lining, and worsen deficiency even as you increase your dose. These mistakes are not obvious. They are not written on supplement labels. But they are documented in journals, clinical trials, and biochemical research that most people never see. In this expanded deep dive, I will explain exactly what happens inside your body when you take magnesium the wrong way, the chemical reactions, the nutrient competition, the transport limitations, the hydration demands, the circadian timing. My goal is simple: to ensure that every milligram of magnesium you take actually reaches your cells and transforms your sleep, nerves, and recovery the way it's supposed to. Before we begin, I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, where are you watching from, and how long have you been taking magnesium glycinate? I read every single comment personally, the way a doctor checks on her patients during night rounds. Now take a deep breath. Mistake number 5. Taking magnesium glycinate with the wrong foods. Most seniors pop their magnesium glycinate with dinner, with breakfast, or with whatever meal feels convenient, completely unaware that food can turn this helpful supplement into something the body simply cannot use. And what's even more surprising is that the very foods many people choose because they're trying to eat healthier, whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, leafy greens, can sabotage magnesium absorption more aggressively than almost anything else you put into your body. Let me take you inside the biochemistry so you finally understand why this happens, because once you see it clearly, you'll never take your supplement the same way again. Inside your gut, magnesium isn't floating freely looking for a door into your bloodstream. It's competing constantly. The intestinal wall has limited transport channels, tiny molecular gates that pull magnesium inside. But these gates do not stay open for long. They open briefly, transport what they can, then close again. Magnesium needs to be ready, unbound, and accessible at the exact moment those channels open. If magnesium is trapped inside chemical complexes with other molecules, it never reaches those transport gates. You still swallow it, but your body doesn't use it. This is exactly what happens when magnesium meets foods high in phytic acid. Phytic acid, sometimes called phytate, is a compound found naturally in whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds, foods often praised for their fiber and minerals. But phytic acid has a chemical structure that allows it to bind strongly with positively charged minerals, especially magnesium, calcium, zinc, and iron. When phytic acid binds to magnesium, it forms a compound that cannot dissolve in your digestive tract. Picture it like wet cement, solid, heavy, immovable. Once this bond forms, your body has no way to break it down, meaning the magnesium inside becomes completely inaccessible. It moves through you unused, wasted, and often irritating your digestive system along the way. And this isn't speculation. The American Journal of Clinical Nutrition published research demonstrating that phytic acid can reduce magnesium absorption by up to 60%, especially when consumed at the same time as supplements. That means if you took 200 milligrams of magnesium glycinate with a bowl of high-fiber oatmeal, quinoa, or whole wheat toast, you might absorb only 80 milligrams, or none at all. The supplement isn't the problem. The timing is. But phytic acid is only the beginning. Foods high in oxalates create an entirely different kind of trap. Oxalates are found in spinach, Swiss chard, beet greens, nuts, cocoa powder, and even dark chocolate. Oxalates bind magnesium to form a compound called magnesium oxalate, a substance that is not only unabsorbable but can also contribute to kidney stone formation in susceptible individuals. That's right. The same supplement you're taking for better sleep might be quietly playing into kidney discomfort if you consistently pair it with oxalate-rich foods. This is why many seniors say, "I've been taking magnesium for months, but nothing changes. I'm still cramping. I'm still anxious. I'm still waking up tired." It's not because the supplement is weak. It's because the food you pair it with neutralizes it before it ever reaches your cells. And then comes the calcium problem. Magnesium and calcium are partners inside the body. They work together in muscle contraction, bone formation, nerve signaling. But in the digestive tract, they are competitors. They use the same transport channels. And if both are present in the intestine at the same time, calcium wins almost every time. Your body prioritizes calcium absorption for immediate functions like stabilizing your heart rhythm and maintaining blood vessel tone. Magnesium gets pushed aside, left in the gut to be excreted. This explains why people who take magnesium glycinate with yogurt, milk, cheese, fortified cereals, or calcium supplements often experience no improvement at all. Calcium, simply by being present, reduces magnesium absorption dramatically. So what is the right way? What does the body need in order to absorb magnesium properly? Think of it like creating a dedicated absorption window, a time period where magnesium has no competition, no phytates, no oxalates, no calcium, no interfering fibers. The ideal environment is either a completely empty stomach or a small amount of low-interference food. That means foods low in binding molecules, such as white rice, refined grains, peeled fruit, cooked zucchini, or light lettuce. These foods provide enough cushion for those who get nausea from taking supplements on an empty stomach but do not contain compounds that bind or trap magnesium. Timing becomes one of the most powerful tools you have. Taking magnesium glycinate at night, about 1 hour before bed, when your stomach is naturally emptier, can increase absorption dramatically. And this isn't just practical, it's biological. Your body's circadian rhythm actually changes mineral absorption rates throughout the day. Research shows that magnesium bioavailability increases by up to 20% when taken in the evening, because your body shifts into a parasympathetic state where absorption pathways are more receptive. Another strategy is spacing. If you regularly eat foods high in phytates or oxalates, and many seniors do, give yourself a 2-hour buffer before and after these meals. That means if you have nuts at lunch or leafy greens at dinner, don't take your magnesium within that window. And here's something that surprises many people: vitamin C can actually enhance magnesium absorption. A small amount of acidic food, such as citrus fruit, strawberries, or a vitamin C supplement, can temporarily lower intestinal pH, creating a more favorable environment for magnesium to cross the gut barrier. So if you're someone who struggles with empty stomach supplements, pairing magnesium glycinate with a few slices of kiwi or orange can actually improve, not reduce, its absorption. But even with perfect timing, perfect food separation, and perfect internal conditions, there's another problem that many seniors overlook. Your magnesium may still be getting flushed out of your body before it has time to do any good. That happens when mistake number 4 enters the picture: drinks that cancel out your supplement faster than you can swallow it. But before we move forward, ask yourself honestly, how do you currently take your magnesium glycinate? With dinner? With a high-fiber breakfast? With calcium-rich foods? With leafy greens? With nuts? With whole grains? If your answer is yes to any of those, you already know the root cause behind your lack of results. So now, as we transition into mistake number 4, understand this: what you drink may be even more destructive to magnesium absorption than what you eat. And the beverage people consume most often in the evening, the one they mistakenly believe relaxes them, is the same beverage that strips magnesium from the body faster than any other. Are you ready? Because mistake number 4 catches nearly everyone off guard. Mistake number 4, drinking coffee, tea, or alcohol too close to your magnesium glycinate dose. This is the mistake that blindsides almost everyone because it hides behind habits that feel comforting, familiar, normal. The warm cup of tea at night. The relaxing glass of wine after dinner. The coffee that keeps you going in the afternoon. Each of these beverages carries emotional weight and daily rituals, which is exactly why people rarely question their impact on mineral absorption. But when it comes to magnesium, especially magnesium glycinate, these drinks can sabotage your results more aggressively than food ever could. And for seniors, the consequences are even more severe because your kidneys, your gut lining, and your mineral transport systems do not respond to these substances the same way they did when you were 30 or 40. They become more sensitive, more reactive, and more easily depleted. Let's start with the most common culprit, coffee. Coffee contains tannins and polyphenol, natural compounds that bind tightly to minerals. Think of tannins like little magnets roaming through your digestive system. When they encounter magnesium, they latch onto it instantly, forming complexes your body cannot absorb. It doesn't matter if you bought the most expensive magnesium glycinate on the market. If you drink coffee within a few hours of taking it, most of it is lost. But this is just the beginning. Coffee isn't only a binding agent, it is also a diuretic. A strong one. That means your kidneys begin flushing out fluid and electrolytes, including magnesium, at an accelerated rate. People often tell me, Dr. Serrat, I don't feel dehydrated when I drink coffee. But that's because dehydration doesn't always feel like thirst. Sometimes it feels like anxiety, restlessness, muscle twitching, heart palpitations, the exact symptoms magnesium deficiency is supposed to relieve. When you combine magnesium with coffee too closely, you lose the mineral twice, once through reduced absorption and again through increased excretion. Tea behaves similarly, especially black tea. Black tea contains tannins in even higher concentrations than coffee. Green tea is less harsh but still interferes with absorption, particularly because of its polyphenol content. Herbal teas vary widely, but many contain compounds that alter stomach acidity or digestive motility, which can indirectly influence magnesium uptake. For example, chamomile relaxes the smooth muscle of the intestine, good for calming the body, not ideal for mineral transport. Peppermint accelerates transit time, reducing the window magnesium has to be absorbed. Ginger increases circulation but can mildly irritate sensitive stomachs. None of these effects are harmful on their own, but when combined with magnesium supplementation, they create unpredictable interference patterns. Then we reach the most destructive of all, alcohol. Alcohol interferes with magnesium on multiple levels simultaneously. It damages the intestinal lining, reducing your ability to absorb nutrients. It alters the pH of your digestive system, shifting it to an environment where magnesium struggles to dissolve. It suppresses antidiuretic hormone, meaning your kidneys immediately begin dumping fluids and minerals, including magnesium, at rates up to 260% higher than normal. That means if you take magnesium glycinate near alcohol, nearly every milligram you take will exit your body before it has time to enter your cells. And the effects do not stop once the alcohol has metabolized. Alcohol changes the expression of certain proteins in your kidneys, proteins that regulate magnesium retention, causing you to lose magnesium not just that night but for 24 to 48 hours afterward. This is why seniors who drink small amounts of alcohol every evening often unknowingly develop chronic magnesium deficiency. They take magnesium at night believing it helps with sleep, unaware that their glass of wine is erasing the supplement's benefits before they even lie down. Carbonated beverages create another layer of complication because of their phosphoric acid content. Phosphoric acid binds magnesium in a way similar to oxalates, forming compounds your body cannot absorb. Even sparkling water can interfere if consumed too close to supplementation due to the rapid pressure changes in the stomach altering magnesium solubility. These small physiological shifts may seem insignificant, but when repeated daily for months or years, they create deficiencies that no supplement label warns you about. Now, let's talk timing because this is where most people fail without realizing it. Magnesium glycinate should never be taken within 4 hours of coffee or black tea. Green tea requires a minimum buffer of 3 hours. Alcohol requires separation of at least 6 to 8 hours, longer if you are over 60 or have slow digestion. That means if you drink wine at dinner, your magnesium supplement should be taken in the morning, not at night. And if you drink coffee at breakfast, your magnesium glycinate should be taken in the afternoon or evening. Many people assume as long as they don't swallow their supplement with their beverage, they're safe, but this is not the case. These interfering compounds remain active in your digestive system and bloodstream for hours, altering pH, binding minerals, and stimulating kidneys in ways that reduce absorption long after the drink has left your stomach. If you consume more than 3 cups of coffee per day, and many seniors do, you may need to increase your magnesium dose by 25% to 30% just to compensate for the increased losses. But increasing the dose alone is not enough. You must also modify timing. If you drink caffeine throughout the day, there is never a long enough window for magnesium to be absorbed properly. Moving your caffeine consumption exclusively to morning hours is the simplest way to create an absorption sanctuary in the evening. And here's where things get even more delicate: emotional habits. Many seniors believe that tea or alcohol helps them sleep. They associate these drinks with comfort, warmth, relaxation, and routine. Breaking this ritual feels unsettling. But here's what research shows: caffeine disrupts REM sleep even when consumed 6 hours before bedtime. Alcohol disrupts deep sleep even when consumed 4 hours before bedtime. Magnesium, on the other hand, increases deep sleep and stabilizes REM cycles, but only if it reaches your cells. If you mix alcohol or caffeine into the equation, magnesium never gets the chance to do its job. The biggest paradox I see is seniors taking magnesium to sleep better while unknowingly pairing it with substances that dismantle sleep architecture. They think the supplement isn't working, so they increase the dose, creating digestive upset, electrolyte imbalances, and further frustration. The real problem is not that the dose is too low. It's that the timing is completely misaligned with their physiology. Let me paint a clear picture. Imagine magnesium as a key trying to enter a lock inside your cells. Coffee throws sand into the lock. Alcohol changes the shape of the key. Tea moves the lock to a different door entirely. And carbonation floods the hallway where the key is supposed to travel. This is why timing matters more than almost anything else. So here's the practical solution, the one I advise all my senior patients to follow: establish a magnesium protection window. If you drink coffee, drink it only in the morning. If you enjoy tea, drink herbal teas that do not contain tannins, and keep them at least 3 hours away from your supplement. If you drink alcohol, take your magnesium early in the day, not at night. And if you consume carbonated beverages, allow at least 3 hours on either side of supplementation. Now I want you to reflect for a moment. Are you currently taking magnesium glycinate within hours of a caffeinated drink? Are you pairing it with your evening wine? Are you drinking tea throughout the day? If the answer is yes, then the lack of results makes absolute sense. You're not doing anything wrong intentionally. You were simply never told how delicate and sensitive magnesium absorption truly is. As we move into mistake number 3, keep this thought with you: even if your magnesium glycinate is the best form available, perfectly tolerated and clinically effective, it only works if your body has the chance to absorb it. And mistake number 3 reveals a truth that shocks almost everyone: the truth about dose size, and why most people are overwhelming their intestines in ways that guarantee failure. Mistake number 3: taking too much magnesium glycinate at once instead of splitting your dose. This is the mistake that silently sabotages even the most disciplined supplement users because they believe more is better, stronger is better, faster is better. But when it comes to magnesium, especially magnesium glycinate, your body does not reward intensity, it rewards strategy. And seniors, more than any other age group, must understand this distinction because your absorption pathways, your gut transport systems, your kidney filtration rate, and your intracellular mineral channels do not behave the same way they did when you were younger. They become slower, tighter, more selective, more reactive. And when you overwhelm them with massive doses at once, the result is not superior absorption, it is biochemical chaos that leaves you deficient even while swallowing hundreds of milligrams daily. Let me explain something most supplement companies never disclose. Your intestines have a maximum absorption threshold of around 100 to 120 milligrams of elemental magnesium at any given time. That's it. Not 400. Not 600. Not 1,000. Those higher numbers mean nothing if your intestinal transport mechanisms cannot physically move that amount into your bloodstream. Magnesium absorption follows what scientists call an inverse dose relationship. That means the more you take at once, the less you absorb. At small doses, absorption can reach 65% or even higher. But once you jump to 400 or 500 milligrams in a single dose, absorption plummets to 10 to 11%. And the rest? It stays trapped in your gut, drawing water toward itself like a magnet, triggering bloating, cramping, loose stools, diarrhea, and ultimately flushing the supplement straight out of your body. Think of your magnesium transporters like tiny doorways. These doorways are narrow, slow, and limited in number. You cannot force a stadium of people through a single narrow exit all at once. Most of the crowd ends up stuck, waiting, overcrowding, or spilling into the wrong pathways. That's exactly what happens inside your gut. When you take a high single dose, the magnesium molecules simply accumulate with nowhere to go, then your intestines push them along too quickly, preventing absorption. The glycine component in glycinate helps transport magnesium through the intestinal lining, but even this improved transport mechanism is not unlimited. Glycine occupies molecular space, meaning the total weight printed on the supplement bottle, 400 milligrams magnesium glycinate, is not the amount of elemental magnesium you're actually getting. Magnesium glycinate is only about 14% elemental magnesium. So, a 400 milligrams pill contains around 50 to 60 milligrams of actual usable magnesium. This means many seniors unknowingly take 2 pills at night, believing they're getting 800 milligrams, when in reality they're overwhelming their gut with compound weight and absorbing only a small fraction. Then, when the supplement doesn't work, they increase the dose further, worsening the problem. I've treated hundreds of patients who believed their bodies were resistant to magnesium. The truth was much simpler. They weren't absorbing it because they were drowning their transport systems with too much at once. The correct solution, the solution supported across decades of research, is splitting your dose into 2 or 3 smaller portions taken throughout the day. This simple adjustment increases total absorption by up to 40%, delivering more magnesium to your cells without increasing the total milligrams consumed. Here's what an optimal split dose strategy looks like. If you want 400 milligrams of elemental magnesium daily, you divide it into 3 135 milligrams doses. 1 in the morning, 1 mid-afternoon, and 1 before bed. Each dose remains under the transport threshold and maximizes absorption efficiency. Smaller doses enter your bloodstream more steadily, promoting stable levels that support your nervous system, muscles, cardiovascular function, and sleep architecture. This stable delivery is critical for seniors because large fluctuations in magnesium levels can trigger heart palpitations, anxiety surges, nighttime restlessness, or electrolyte imbalances that lead to cramping, weakness, or poor sleep. Another important point, people who are magnesium deficient, a group that includes nearly 70% of seniors, actually absorb magnesium less efficiently. Deficiency weakens the intestine's ability to uptake the mineral, meaning you require even smaller, more frequent doses to gradually restore your intracellular levels without provoking digestive irritation. Magnesium repletion is not a forceful process. It is gentle, slow, cumulative. A large dose cannot bulldoze its way into your tissues. It must pass through cellular channels that are highly sensitive to concentration gradients. Too much magnesium at once creates a gradient your cells simply cannot handle. They close their doors instead of opening them. I want you to understand something fundamental. Magnesium's true work happens inside your cells, not in your bloodstream. A blood test cannot accurately measure your magnesium status because only about 1% of your total magnesium exists in the blood. The rest, 99%, exists inside your muscles, nerves, bones, and brain tissue. This is why the strategy is not about how much magnesium enters your bloodstream. It's about how much enters your cells. And your cells prefer slow, steady, rhythmic delivery, not overwhelming surges that trigger defensive responses. Let me give you an example. I once treated a 72-year-old man named Gerald who had been taking 600 milligrams of magnesium glycinate every night for nearly a year. He complained of terrible sleep, restless legs, twitching muscles, constipation, and episodes of nighttime anxiety that woke him with a pounding heartbeat. He believed he was magnesium deficient because the supplement wasn't working. After reviewing his supplement routine, I discovered he never once split the dose. His body was rejecting nearly all of it. When we reduced his dose to 150 milligrams 3 times daily, every symptom he had been fighting improved within 2 weeks. Not because he took more magnesium, but because he took it correctly. Another patient, an 80-year-old woman named Celia, suffered from chronic cramps and nighttime spasms. She was convinced she needed a stronger supplement. In reality, she was taking 300 milligrams twice daily alongside calcium, creating competitive absorption that made magnesium nearly useless. Splitting her dose and separating it from calcium changed everything. Her symptoms disappeared, her sleep improved, her mood stabilized, and her blood pressure became easier to control. The timing of split dosing also influences its effectiveness. Here is the schedule I teach seniors. Dose 1, morning on an empty stomach or with a light breakfast. This supports adrenal function, stress resilience, cellular energy production, and mood regulation throughout the day. Dose 2, afternoon between meals to prevent the midday energy crash and stabilize muscle function, especially if you experience tremors or fatigue. Dose 3, evening, ideally 1 hour before bedtime, when your body naturally shifts into parasympathetic mode. This dose promotes melatonin synthesis, muscle relaxation, and deep restorative sleep cycles. Spacing these doses at least 4 hours apart allows your intestinal transporters to reset fully, ensuring each dose is absorbed efficiently. This method transforms magnesium supplementation from a guesswork ritual into a precise, science-backed protocol with predictable results. Let's address something else: combining magnesium with vitamins or supplements that enhance or impair its absorption. Vitamin B6 increases intracellular magnesium uptake. Vitamin C increases solubility. But calcium, zinc, and iron directly compete for absorption channels, meaning they should never be taken with magnesium at the same time. This is why split dosing is not just helpful, it is essential. It gives you the freedom to separate conflicting nutrients while optimizing each one individually. But the most powerful reason to split your dose is this: magnesium is essential for more than 600 biochemical reactions in your body. These reactions do not occur at one single time each day. They occur continuously, hour after hour. If your magnesium levels spike at night and crash by morning, you lose the ability to regulate muscle tension, nerve signaling, glucose metabolism, and cardiovascular rhythm throughout the day. A single large dose creates instability. Multiple small doses create harmony. Ask yourself right now, are you taking your magnesium glycinate all at once? Have you been increasing the dose because it isn't working? Do you feel digestive discomfort, irregular sleep, or inconsistent results? If so, your problem is not deficiency, it is dosing strategy. Splitting the dose is not a minor adjustment. It is the difference between wasting your supplement and transforming your health. And in the next mistake number 2, you'll discover how medications and supplements you take every day can quietly erase magnesium from your system before your body ever gets the chance to use it.